Okay, Darius and Jeff with Change Machine Games. We're going to show you how to play a round of Bones of the Caribbean. Love that name, right?
It's amazing.
Who would want anything else? So I'll actually let Jeff take first turn. He's playing,
Captain Rum Shambles.
and I'm playing this Captain Scarlet
Duels.
Okay. So this, basically we're like in the second or third round of a game. So we'll just kind of play through and talk as we're playing.
Yep. So right here, to give you a brief intro, we have 2 pirate islands. They're sitting on each side of this game mat, which is optional. And we also have the sea. So when you're in the sea, you plunder from the galleons that are sort of just sailing around there. Everybody has one of these, a fate token, which you never can lose.
And you also don't want to reveal.
Yeah, you also don't want to reveal it to people, but you'll shuffle it in with the other tokens. And the game board has a few different areas to help track how you're rolling, because there is a little bit of rolling strategy to the game. So dice that you use go into the locked area. So for example, if I want to build more crew, I put them here. Now if I want to maybe attack somebody, I need 2 cannons, but in this case I only have 1, so I might put the cannon here in the middle and hold. When I take plunder from
And how
the
many
sea,
dice can you hold per round, per roll?
well, as many as you want. So we'll get into rolling through the turn. Plunder that we've plundered from the sea. For example, if I get this plunder, I put here my plunder pile. So that's for plunder, and this is for exhausted dice. Skulls that give you scurvy, and anytime you want to sail, you put dice in this exhausted area. Buried treasure goes here, so it goes from plunder to buried treasure. So in this case, I have a couple buried treasure here, and of course my plunder, which is worth a 3, and my fate token, which is worth a die 6 when it gets used.
Also, these trackers on the left and right.
Yeah, so here's our reputation. This is what we get when we go into combat and win a combat. And the other side is our crew. This is how much crew is on our island. And we can also use this crew to add into our ships when they're at the island. So it's transferable. So, all right, so let's go ahead and do a roll here.
On the other side.
Yeah, this is reputation. So this goes up as you win combats.
And those
Okay.
are victory points.
Yep, they're directly, literally victory points into the game.
Okay,
All right,
so
let's go ahead and do a roll.
And this is only for the die 6 roll.
Yeah,
And is your turn.
Right. So, if I'm first player, there we go. Okay. So, I got 2 shovels, which is good because it lets me bury treasure. I have a storm, which I can use to damage someone else's ships.
2 storms.
Oh, I get 2 storms. Yeah, look at that. I can get more crew, and I can start to go to war. So I have to, every turn you have to attribute something to your board. So in this case, I want to take and attribute my my swords, right, which gets me crew. So I'm going to put this...
Recruit crew.
Yeah, recruit crew. So I'm going to get 2 additional crew. So I'm actually going to put 1 crew on my island to give me 4, and take this crew of 5 and bump it up to 6.
Which is the max.
Yeah, which is the max. Now, I don't have to roll or... Now, I do have these 2 shovels, which would be good to bury treasure. The problem is that my plunder here is not worth a lot to bury.
But unburied treasure is worth how much?
So this plunder, as plunder, is worth 2 victory points no matter the face value of the token. If you bury the buried treasure, you get the face value.
Which I'll show people. Face values go from 3, 5, and 7. Is that?
There's a
and
4.
4.
Yeah.
And there's a 4. So possible victory points when it's buried is 3, 4, 5, 7. Even a 7 not buried is only worth 2 victory
Only
points.
worth 2.
So that's what he's saying. He may not strategically want to waste shovels on a 3.
Correct. So, but it's also a good way to bluff and to pad. So if you do have a 7, you might want to put a 3 in there just so it's harder for someone to steal. All right, and I see he has buried treasure over there, and I have 2 shovels. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm already at the sea here. I'm going to use this cannon.
Explain movement.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take my cannon, put it here.
Cannon's not movement.
Right, the cannon's not movement, but anytime you take any dice and put it in your bottom area...
Any uncommitted die.
You can move 1 space. So I'm going to take this ship, which is at the sea, and move to his island.
And explain spaces?
So
It's
right
not
now
a straight shot.
Right now we have 3 spaces. So we have 2 islands and the sea.
Right.
So you always have to go to the sea before you go to someone else's island.
Can't go diagonal.
Right. If we were playing, let's say Moja was involved, and she was sitting over here, then if I wanted to go to her island, I'd have to go to the sea first and then to the
Right.
island. So I'm exhausted this, and now I'm going to use my 2 shovels, and I'm going to spend them to dig up that treasure.
So just to be clear, 2 shovels is what's needed, not 1,
Correct.
not 3.
Yep.
You need 2 to bury yours,
2.
or to unbury to dig up mine.
Correct. So I'm going to dig up his treasure, but he can take his fate token, which is in here somewhere, right there, and he can mix it in. So I'm going to close my eyes. I'm not looking, I
mix this
promise.
in.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and take this one. Oh, I get the fate token. Okay. So that means I don't dig up his treasure, but I do get a consolation prize. I roll the fate die, and I add that to my crew. So I get 1 more crew, which is kind of a bad roll.
They're so upset they didn't find treasure, they hire more people.
Right, they get more people instead. So now I'm not quite done my turn. I still have the 2 storms, but I'm going to re-roll these.
Hey, explain rerolling. So rerolling can happen at any time.
As long as you do something on your board, whether it's exhaust something, put something on hold, or lock something, lock an action, you can re-roll. So storms, I could use these 2 storms to damage 1 there, damage 1 here, but I really just
You
want
could also use 2 storms to damage the same ship twice, and you actually push it twice, or push it once.
You can only ever push it once.
Right.
But when a ship is at, let's say a ship is at the sea, so 1 storm.
Let's put it back.
Yeah, let's put it back. So 1 storm will do 1 damage. So I could do 2 damage to the ship and take it down to 1 crew.
And push me.
And move him somewhere else. Move him to one of the spaces. Right. But because he's at his home island with a crew of 3, I think you had a crew of 3 here.
We can go back to the tape.
Yeah, we can go back to the tape. So I could use 2 storms to do 1 damage because
when they're in their harbors,
yeah.
they're more protected, and it costs 2 storms versus 1 storm, and it only causes 1 damage. And does it push?
You can still push.
You can still push them out.
1 dice, yeah, exactly. So I'm going to reroll these, see what I get. All right, 2 cannons, so I can go to war. And I think this is actually probably good for me because I want to go up my reputation track, and I have a really strong advantage here.
So reputation track goes up by the victor.
Yep, by the victor. So I'm going to...
Even if I win, if I did initiate combat, do I still get a...
Yeah.
It's always just winning.
Yep.
Defending or attacking.
Whoever wins. Now the difference is the winner gets to plunder. You're going to see that right now. So I'm exhausting these 2 dice here, and I want to do a combat here. Now the reason I'm doing it is I have a really strong advantage. I have a total crew of 6 versus 5, but because he's at my island, I can also choose to add my island crew in. So I have a total of 10 points against his 5. That's a very highly chance for me to succeed and win.
Now, if I were to somehow beat you, you rolled really poorly, you lose half crew, but do you lose half your island crew too?
Yep.
Okay, so
But,
it's a little risky.
Right, but if you're at your island, you don't have to attribute your island crew. It's a choice. It's optional. But in this case, I want to just slaughter you. I don't care about the crew.
So it's 10v5 right now.
10v5, but what we do is we take our
unburied treasure.
Yeah, our plunder, and we mix it up.
So I'll put my die 6 fate back in this mix.
Yep. You always put your fate token in whenever you do any kind of grab. So I'm going to choose one of his tokens for his score. So he's going to have a total of 5 plus a die 6. Okay, and I have a total of 10 plus a die 6. So I believe it's a very, very small chance, but he could actually beat me. The reason is that...
You have 10? And if
I
you
have
roll
10,
1,
if
that's
I roll
11,
11,
and I can tie you.
He can tie me, and ties go to the defender. So 1 out of 36 chance, he can win. Oh,
it's looking pretty bad. Okay,
yeah,
I won't roll because I can't win.
Right, he will roll. So in this case, I would get his token. And
First thing we do is we lose half crew.
Right, but because he has a fate token, I don't take the plunder. So his fate token goes back. You never lose your fate token. Mine goes back. I go up 1 on the reputation track, and then we lose half our crew rounding up. So I go to a 3 here, and I go to a 2 here.
And I go to a 3.
And he goes to a 3.
So even attacking costs resources.
Correct.
It's not just free even if you win. There's still bloody combat.
Yep.
There's casualties.
Yeah, and you always have to attack with the maximum number of ships, we call them raiders, that you can attack with. Now, because I've gone through and I've done my turn, I actually get a bonus roll. And a bonus roll is a one-time roll. And this is a very much push your luck aspect. Now, anything you have exhausted, you do not add in.
Movement is exhausted.
Movement is exhausted.
And the skulls are exhausted.
And the skulls are exhausted. So in this case, I got really lucky. We haven't seen any skulls for me, and skulls give you scurvy, so hopefully Darius will get one of those. But in this case, you know what? I'm going to take my ship that's over here. I'm going to...
this is a one-time roll, no re-rolls. Yep. The bonus rolls once.
Yep. So the shovel and the cannon, because you need 2 of them to do stuff, they're useless.
So you're going to use them as movement.
Correct. But what I want to do is I'm going to move my ship.
You're going to use that as movement.
Yep. Or I could use one of these as movement. Yep. I could just, whatever, throw all those into movement. So I'm going to move here. Then I'm going to use 2 captain's hats to immediately take a plunder and put it into my plunder pile.
Normally, one captain's hat you actually put in your pile at the beginning of your next turn.
Yep. And then I'm going to use my other to move back here. So I'm trying to shore up myself.
So you actually technically have one movement left over.
I have one movement left over,
but it's wasted because you can't really use it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
You could move this ship if you were so inclined.
Right. I can move the other ship or the ship back.
Right.
It doesn't matter, and
okay,
you can move as much as you want.
So I'm gonna take a quick stop at this. See how we did. Okay, now it is my turn. So hopefully I don't roll 3 skulls. If we do, we'll just re-edit that and take another turn.
No, you just attribute 1.
Oh, that's right. You only attribute 1. Wow.
Wow, no
Still
skulls.
no skulls.
No skulls.
So these dice are 1 and 6. They're all 6 sides or different faces. So that's actually pretty amazing. I don't know if that was a... I don't know what that was.
That's fine.
Okay, so I got some cool... I got some cool options here. 2 shovels, 2 swords, and 2 storms. So no pirate hats, which is always nice because I can get more loot. So if I take a look at my guys, I have a pretty decent value on that I am going to go ahead and bury. So I'm going to put these 2 here.
Yep, right where the lock is.
This is now buried. So he has to actively come to my island, roll 2 of these to steal that. I'm going to go ahead and bolster my crew. Each of these is worth 2. So I'll put this one to 5. Actually, I'll make him 6. And I'll make him up 1. So that does these. And then storming. I can storm Jeff. He's in his harbor. I can push him out, drop him 1. I can also use these to move my ship out of harm's way. What I think I'll do is actually see if I can get some pirate hats. So I want to try and get this guy out and steal some plunder. Okay, so there's a skull. On any roll, the skull goes here. When you get 3 skulls from 3 different rolls, you skull out. That's contributing.
Scurvy.
That's right. You get scurvy. That's actually attributing that, right? So I use a die so I can reroll this one.
Yep.
If I hadn't done scurvy and let's just say it was something else, I'd have to use it in order to be able to reroll again, or lock it. So shovels are going to be a lot of good, but I'll reroll one more time because I technically can't scurvy out. I have 1 die left.
You count your bonus roll.
Right. True. Now
you're out of rerolls.
I'm out of rerolls. So what I'll use this as movement.
Sure.
So
or you can also lock it too.
Right. So I'll just move. So I'm not looking to bury anything. So on my bonus roll, my 1-time roll, I use these 4. Okay. Lots of crew. So this accomplished... I need 2 hats. No, 1 hat.
You can put it underneath.
Yeah, so 1 hat lets me plunder a ship but not take it immediately back like he was able to do. So I'll just do that.
So you'll get that at the beginning of your turn. So if someone were to storm that, it also limits the number you can get. But you have another one. You have another ship too.
Right.
So you can... Oh, you don't have another hat.
Right, I would need another hat to do something. So this will probably be wasted. What I'll do is I will attribute crew. I'll go ahead and bump this to... what would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 crew.
Now, anytime you can spend 6 crew to build a new ship, or you can spend 3 crew and a token. So, for example, if he has a crappy token, like a 4 is kind of decent, but if you had a 3 or 4, I mean, I would definitely do a 5 or a 7. But you can spend 3 and basically remove this from the game, and you can get a new ship.
I'll do that actually. Yeah. So let's bolster my ship. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to.
Or you can spend 6 crew.
So I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to take this 4. I'm going to discard it. Goes off out of the game, and I'll spend 3 crew.
I'll just do it for you.
Yep.
There you go.
And then I bring on a new ship with a crew of 3. Now I still have this 1 die. I actually could use this for movement back to here. It's just this is still under me, but it's a little harder for you to take it from me.
Well, it also protects you. So, for example, if I rolled 4 storms, I could just sink that ship, and it would sink the plunder with it.
Got it. So I will use this in my bonus roll
Yeah.
and put this guy over here.
There you go.
So now I'm turtling, essentially. So now the play will go to the next player, in this instance, Jeff. You want to do another round?
Yep. Up 1 skull. Lock it, so that means I can re-roll any of these I want. So what I really want to do is Darius is turtling up, so I want to give him a mutiny. So to do a mutiny, you need 3 swords. So I'm going to really push for this.
Getting there, but you also got 2 skulls.
It's okay.
So here's the thing. He's pushing his luck because he's looking for another one there. He got it. But if he had rolled a skull, his turn actually would be immediately over if you get 3 skulls.
All right.
Right.
So when you cause a mutiny,
Is that
yes,
3 skulls? Your turn's over.
turns over, you
stop.
lose plunder, and one of your ships loses half
You,
their crew.
you stop your turn.
Yeah, your ship with the most crew loses half.
Yep.
So now what a mutiny does is it decreases half of, in one area, half of all your crew. So in this case, his island would go to 2, this ship would go to 2, this ship would go to 2, and this ship would go to 3.
Very unhappy sailors.
Yep.
So those dice are used.
As there's used, I can re-roll this. Oh, more crew. So in this case, I'm gonna give this guy a couple more crew here, and then I'll take my bonus roll, which was really pushing my luck because if I rolled a skull, I would have gotten scurvy. So in this case, I'm still really not being able to do a whole lot, but I did get the extra plunder from last time. It's a 4, so I'll use these 2 shovels to bury it. And then I'll just get more crew here. I increase this to 5. And, even though it's a little risky, I'm actually going to use this last die to move myself out into the sea. So that way next turn, I don't have to use a die to be there. I'm already there.
Right. Remind me, combat is 1-to-1, or can it be multiple ships to one ship?
No, so when you initiate a combat, you always have to place all of your ships against all of their ships. It's to keep it simple.
In the area.
In that
So
one
if I
area,
have 2
yeah.
in the middle, I have to commit those 2.
You have to
if I
commit
had
those
2
2.
here, I'd have to commit both.
Correct. The only option is at an island. If it's your island, you can choose not to throw your island crew in.
Right. So I'm going to be looking for revenge because he forced that mutiny on me. So 2 shovels isn't going to do me too much because I only have my fate token. Can't really bury that. Though actually, at the beginning of my turn, I do get this.
Yes, you do.
So we'll peek. That's a decent one, but not worth burying. So I'm not going to use these yet. I think what we'll do is we will bolster some crew that we lost. So we'll make you a 3.
4. Plus
I was
2.
going to do 1 of each.
Oh, 1 of each, yeah, sure.
Some parity.
Parry.
I'm not going to use the storm right now.
You can choose not to re-roll it.
I am going to lock this because I'm looking for 2 cannons to attack him. So then I will re-roll these 4. I still didn't get a cannon. But not all is lost because I can bolster these guys a bit more. We'll make it 5 and 5. These are used. And I'm going to re-roll these 2 to try and get another cannon. But I need to be in your space.
Yeah, you might want to move out.
So one of these was a storm. I'll commit the storm to move a ship out. And I'll try and get another cannon.
Hey!
There we go. 2 cannons. Initiate combat.
Alright, so straight ups.
So
5 versus 5. Alright. This one. Dice. Oh, we're fading off again.
this is just a pure die roll.
Well, technically, if it's a tie, I win.
True. So I have an 8. Dang. All right.
All right.
So you beat me. We both lose half crew, but he gets to go up. Half crew rounded up.
Up to keep for the crew.
And he gets to go up on the.
Yeah, reputation track.
All right.
All right. And you get your bonus roll.
Right. I'll do my bonus roll, and then we'll.
Put those.
Right. I used that for movement. So got 2 skulls, but you only commit 1 even on the bonus roll?
No, bonus roll, they both go there. It doesn't matter.
So this is actually kind of nice because I can actually take any plunder, any ship. I can plunder immediately.
Or you can move a second ship out and put 2 under your ships.
Oh, I see. So you
Yep.
could double up.
That's the advantage of having more than one ship.
Okay. I'm going to go for the sure bet and bring it home.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to do 2 things. I'm going to use this to move. And then I'll use these 2 to pull any of these plunder by one of these ships onto my island. And that's 2 rounds. Play is pretty fast. Typically, what, in a 2-player game, half hour, 20 minutes?
15.
Okay.
15 minutes for 2
5-player
players.
game, maybe about 40 minutes.
Yeah, 5-player game, 40, 50 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10 minutes per player. So if we want to actually just look at scoring real quick, to give you guys an idea, because scoring is very, very important in this game. And
Right. So scoring is when these are all. End of
defines your
game is when
strategy.
these are all gone.
Yeah, the last turn comes about. You turn the first captain over to the last turn.
When these are all taken.
The turn that happens, they're all taken. And this is how scoring works. You get 4 points for each ship. So in this case, I would have 8 points for my ship,
I would have 12.
and you would get 1 point for every 3 full crew. So in this case, I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 crew. So that would give me 3 points for my crew.
And then I have what,
You
5?
have 13, so you get 4.
Okay, so now I'm at 16 victory points right now.
You also literally take just the value under your reputation, which I'm at 9, and he has at
It was at 2.
It was at 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Now and then the buried treasure amount. So I would have a total of 10.
So I have 8, and then these 2 minus the fate die is worth just 2 each.
2.
So this is the fate die. Not gonna count. So these would be 2 points each.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So I have 21 plus 8 is 29 plus another 3.
3 for
My crew.
crew, right?
So 30, 31, 32.
Okay, so 32. Let's see. What do I have? We said I had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 13. So that's how much in crew? 3?
3. So you should have 4 for your crew, and then you have 12.
So
that's
16,
17, 18,
18.
and then what you have buried.
18 plus 8
Is 24.
is 24. Plus 2 that are not, so
28.
28.
So 28 to 32.
Yeah, pretty close. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. Any questions, you can hit us up on Twitter, on Facebook, on our website, our forums.
We have Discord channel too.
We'll be able to clarify any rules for you guys. All right, thanks a lot.